October can be a busy month, and we have several activities going on here at the school that I wanted to share with you to make sure everyone had a thorough explanation of what's going on. The first thing I wanted to talk about is our free Halloween safety clinic. It's going to be on October the 25th, which is a Tuesday at 4:30 in the afternoon here at Success Martial Arts. Why is that necessary? I found in doing some research that even though we try to keep a closer eye on kids, Halloween has the potential for there to be problems. The weather is usually kind of iffy. Sometimes it blows, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's rainy, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's colder, sometimes it isn't, which makes it hard for us to prepare in terms of clothing for adults and clothing for kids, that we're not always dressed properly, which normally wouldn't be that big a deal. But now we're out at night because it's dark, and kids have costumes on, and people are driving around in different ways than they normally would. Kids are walking around in ways that they normally would, where they aren't able to see incredibly well. And we're interacting with people who we don't normally interact with, and boy, kids are excited. And when we load all that together, there's plenty of room for things to go wrong. I think most parents are real good about, hey, we're going to check the candy and the real obvious things that are pretty scary, but there are a lot of more subtle things that can go wrong as well that I just like to share. And so that's the purpose of the Halloween Safety Clinic, is to share these ideas and help keep everybody, make sure it's fun and you don't have a bad experience. And so that's free for students, free for the community. Feel free to invite anybody you want to invite. Again, the 25th, which is a Tuesday at 4:30 here at Success Martial Arts Halloween Safety Clinic. Next thing on the list, our Giving and Thanks food drive. I don't know how many of you are familiar, but traditionally, the Friday after Thanksgiving, so Black Friday, while everybody else is out shopping, we've had a tradition of going over to Salvation Army and helping them pack some of their holiday care packages. One of the challenges we've run into with that Action Heroes project, heroes through our actions rather than through violence, is that when we get there, because it is the day after Thanksgiving, their food stores are a little bit low because they've just given out quite a bit for the previous holiday. So I've decided, and we started last year, this year we've extended a little bit, to do our own food drive. And that way in the months of October and November, anytime it suits you, please bring in non-perishable food items, canned goods, bought goods, stovetop, things of that nature. And we'll save them up here at the school, and then we'll take them over on that day, and that way we sort of come prepared with some of our own supplies to help create those care boxes. And again, my thinking is most of you have got food in the cupboard that you're not likely to ever eat, or at least not anytime soon, certainly that you can spare it. In addition to that, Coach is myself, right? I'm a poster boy for this. I don't really have any food in my house, and so I go out and I shop a little bit, and I spend a certain number of dollars at Grocery Outlet or wherever and get some canned goods to contribute as well. So either way, I think it's something that almost anyone can participate in. I also think there's some real value in the kids, the students, the younger students, having a chance to see this sort of activity. I think that as adults, oftentimes when we do contribute, we contribute with money, and the children don't always get what we're doing if we don't explain it to them explicitly. And so the idea behind our Giving and Thanks Action Heroes project is to give the children a chance to contribute through their actions and helping to create those boxes. And the food drive, in support of that, helps the children understand about contributing as well. So Giving and Thanks food drive is starting right now through Thanksgiving, and then the Action Heroes project that day will be the Friday after. Next, going back to the Halloween topic, one statistic I've come across several times is that 3 out of 10 children are going to be diabetic in the next 20 years or so. Now, a certain number of children are born with diabetes. It's a genetic predisposition. It's not their fault. I'm not faulting any of those children. However, there's a large bulk, forgive the pun, a large proportion of diabetic kids who are that way because of a sedentary lifestyle and awful nutrition. And so to help incentivize kids to give up some of that Halloween candy, right? I don't know how many of you have had this experience, but I've seen kids with a whole pillowcase full. It's probably 25 pounds of candy that this child is lugging around, and I think you and I both understand that's more candy than any human being has any business eating in an entire lifetime, much less in the several days that child's going to try to eat it all or fight with their mother or cause stress or whatever it may be. It just seems like that large mass of candy is a bad idea on a lot of levels. So the idea is to incentivize the children to trade it in here. So anybody who brings Coach candy, and it doesn't matter how much, it doesn't matter if it's all of it, I'm not trying to play candy police. I just want to motivate kids to the idea that they don't really need even a small portion of that, and to give them an excuse to get rid of it. So anybody who brings the candy here, Coach will be rewarding them. If you're a current student, you get some private lessons, some one-on-one time with me. Kids who aren't students are going to get a short little introductory karate program, so that we're giving some value to get the kids to get rid of that candy, essentially. And then I've connected with a group called Project Rudolph, and they help us to get that candy over to some of the troops who are stationed overseas. And my thought process behind that is that a 19-year-old who's getting shot at in the desert, conceivably, needs that candy a whole lot more than a 10-year-old who's parked in front of an Xbox, if that makes sense to anyone. So, Halloween candy trade-in program.